fill him with your spirit and give him wisdom that surpasses and for him to lead and forge this country into the future and the destiny that you have for it. We thank you for the economy of Kenya and all those who are seated here, ladies and gentlemen, captains of industry. We pray that you may be with them, continue to bless the work of their hands, and help them to prosper. We pray for the Nairobi Securities Exchange. We thank you for the privilege of being able to foster and bring capital into the markets to build and grow the economy of Kenya. Prosper us, be with our chairman, Mr. Kiprono Kitoni, the Chief Executive Officer, Frank Mwiti, and the rest of the team. And Lord, may this be a place that enables and brings forth prosperity for the nation of Kenya through the alternative sources of financing. In all, we pray for this prosperity, for the well-being of Kenya, and we pray that you may bless our beloved land. In the mighty name of Jesus.
Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, the Chair, NSE, Mr. Kiprono Kitoni, the PS Treasury, Dr. Chris Kipto, all Principal Secretaries present, Board Chairs present, CEOs present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. With your permission, Your Excellency, allow me to now call on the Chief Executive Officer, NSE, Mr. Frank Lloyd Mwiti, to make opening remarks. Let's put our hands together as we welcome him. Karibu sana, Bwana Mwiti.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and the Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, all protocols observed. Good morning. Your Excellency, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Nairobi Securities Exchange for the bell ringing ceremony to commemorate the listing of the 3 billion shilling Linzi Sukuk on the NSE Unquoted Securities Platform. Today's ceremony is historic as it marks the listing of Kenya's first Sukuk, a significant step towards the depth, breadth, and sophistication of the capital markets in our region. This landmark listing not only highlights the growing demand for ethical and inclusive finance, but also paves the way for further expansion of Sharia-compliant products in the Kenyan market, opening avenues for more investors to participate in the growth and development of our economy. Your Excellency, today also marks your 4th visit to the NSE, a testament of your unwavering commitment to revitalize the capital markets. We thank you. This visit serves as a strong message. Thank you. This visit serves as a strong message to both domestic and international investors and the general public of your strong belief in the critical role that robust capital markets play in driving accelerated economic growth in our country, indeed in our region. Today, you are reaffirming the importance of domestic capital markets and the pivotal role the Nairobi Securities Exchange plays in mobilizing investment, fostering financial inclusion, and propelling Kenya's economic aspirations forward. Your Excellency, the capital markets, particularly the NSE, serves as the barometer of the economy. Indeed, the performance directly reflects investor sentiments regarding government's policies and economic reforms. Positive market performance often signals confidence in the government's strategies and reforms, while fluctuations can indicate investor concerns or uncertainties. Indeed, the state of a country's capital markets provides valuable insights into the broader economic landscape and the effectiveness of governmental measures. Over the past years, you made commitments to prioritize economic reforms aimed at supporting medium to long-term economic growth and enhancing and restoring confidence in our markets. Your Excellency, I am delighted to report that current government policies have enabled the capital markets in Kenya and the NSE in particular to witness a remarkable recovery that has put our country, Kenya, back on the map and attracted solid positive attention from global and institutional retail investors. The resurgence in the NSE's performance directly reflects the renewed confidence investors have in the government's economic reforms. To put it in better perspective, Your Excellency, in the first quarter of 2024, Bloomberg ranked the NSE's all-share index as the world's best performer in dollar terms out of more than 90 global benchmarks that the publication tracks, and we posted a 44.32% return in dollar terms. We are pleased to report that in the first half of the year 2024, foreign investors were net buyers of equities listed on the NSE, marking the period as the first half of the recorded foreign net inflows in the bourse since 2019, approximately 5 years ago. Further, foreign investors were net buyers of equities for the 3 consecutive months of April, May, and June 2024, for the first time in 58 months. Similarly, in the first half of 2024, the bonds market also recorded a 154% increase in turnover compared to a similar period last year, and a total volume traded of 781 billion shillings has already exceeded last year's 2023's annual trading volumes of 644 billion. So, Your Excellency, I need not emphasize that the benefits of the policies the government has enacted over the last 1.5 years have really impacted Kenya's equity market positively. In fact, the FTSE Russell Index changed or upgraded Kenya's ranking from restricted to pass in relation to the investment of capital and the repatriation of capital. So this reclassification, of course, was anchored on the government's effective handling of previously reported delays in the ability of institutional investors to invest capital and to repatriate dividends. So we thank you again for that. The key point, I guess, to note is that the FTSE Russell Index is a flagship market-weighted index. It is used by investors around the world to inform asset allocation decisions, to support portfolio construction, and to conduct risk and performance analysis. So their view on the country's performance, that it is actually a pass, is therefore a sign of confidence from investors across the globe. As the country engages in national discourse on financing of key strategic government projects, the NSE remains a viable option for the government and other state agencies to raise alternative financing. The NSE has actually been transformative in supporting state agencies and quasi-state agencies to come up with alternative ways to raise funding for crucial projects. And in fact, we know that companies that have come to the NSE from government hands into the private sector, examples KenGen, examples Safaricom, have gone on to be leaders in their fields and extended their business beyond the Kenyan border. So we know that there's opportunity to be found at the NSE for all of us, and more importantly, we think that the NSE is at a crucial point in the development of our country to be able to support these sort of opportunities. We can imagine the millions of jobs and billions of investment opportunities that you can unlock by privatizing other Kenyan companies such as KPC, KPA, KCC, and others. Lastly, in conclusion, Your Excellency, I take this opportunity to extend our gratitude and appreciation to your honoring us by attending the listing or event that is taking place today, which my chairman will speak to in a bit more detail. I would like to reiterate our trust in your leadership and, most importantly, the necessary economic reforms that the government is undertaking to support and drive economic growth for the betterment of the lives and livelihoods of the Kenyan people. Here at the NSE, we go by the motto of the famous words by JFK: ask not what you can do for your country, what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mwiti. Next, allow me to call upon Mr. Tom Mulwa, Managing Director, Liaison Group. Let's give him a warm welcome, and he'll be followed after his remarks by Dr. Jose Akili. Welcome.
Thank you. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of our Defense Forces, Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, allow me to stand on all the protocols established. Your Excellency, as you may remember, the period before 2022, our PCS, Honorable Musalia, was on a short sabbatical. I spent a lot of time with him on a game which will remain unnamed for today. But looking back, that game may have inspired the Sukuk we are celebrating today. We tried a little bit to recruit Dr. Chris Kipto, our PS, in our game, but he stuck to his marathon and athletics. But it is just as good. Your Excellency, this game is a game of results. As we say in Kenya, ni game ya matokeo. And I say so, Your Excellency, because when we stood here a few months ago and we promised that the financial services sector in this country can generate at least 500 billion shillings to inspire our socio-economic transformation, we sounded like magicians, but it has come to pass. Your Excellency, we are very clear that through the capital markets authority, through the capital market, we can be able to at least catalyze growth and help our socio-economic transformation. We have asked ourselves a few questions and given ourselves answers at the same time. We, for example, asked ourselves, how can we help PS Inga and his team at the State Department of Housing to scale the housing agenda and de-risk our housing fund? We have also asked ourselves, Your Excellency, how can we help PS Abubakar Hassan to sort out and fund our KIPES initiative and our EPZ initiative and ESZ initiatives through the capital markets and save our exchequer. We have also asked ourselves how we can help PS Patrick Mariru to sort out and scale his institutional housing. More interestingly, Your Excellency, we have also asked ourselves, how can we help our PSS and the leadership in education and healthcare to fund our social plan in both sectors? We have also asked ourselves how we can help PS Kipto to sort out the pending bills. All these, we believe, can be sorted out through the capital markets. They can be sorted out, and we believe, through an off-balance instrument. And so we could be able to complement your initiative to accelerate our socio-economic development. Your Excellency, we've been asked, why Sukuk? We followed your clarion call that the more the merrier. Through this Sukuk, we've been able to democratize the financial services sector by being inclusive to include our Muslim brothers and sisters. The more the merrier. If we have more people on the table, it can only get better. But more importantly, Your Excellency, we agree with you that it is going to be very difficult to achieve our Vision 2030 aspiration with credit cost elevating to the current levels. Through the Sukuk, we've been able to point this at 11.13%, and it can only get to single digits with this kind of initiative. So we thank you very much for this challenge which you gave us a few months ago and for which we have stood to be counted. Your Excellency, as I conclude, allow me to recognize the teams which made this happen. My leadership and the HESCOM team at Liaison Group, thank you very much. The Liaison Capital Transaction Advisors, Victor Chumo, William Mulwa, and Kevin Kinitu, thank you very much. I had a team of Hanga investors, CPF, Dr. Jose Akili, Timothy Wamboi, and Joe Rono, thank you very much. Your Excellency, I must say we have the most progressive capital markets in this region. Mr. Hugas and the team at CMA have been extremely very supportive and sometimes even beyond moving faster than the private sector. I also want to recognize the leadership of Mr. Paul Luso, John Okulo, and the KCB team, our Sharia advisors, Professor Hassan Lassan, Jafar Sheikh, Abdul Malik, and Salim who are our Sharia advisors. I also want to recognize Sheikh Ibrahim Lathome, the chairman of Sahin Advisory Council, Doreen Odwoga and her partners at KN Law, David Kinyanjui of Ernst & Young and the team, Francis Nasioba of the Licensing team, Robert Dungu and Robert Trustees, CL Group Registrars, Nikki Dhondeka and the team at Cope Trust, Patrick Kariuki and Gen Africa team, Samatha Gera and Kingdom Securities, Abdallah Abdul Marik, Executive Director of Gulf Bank, Steve Mainda, the Chairman of Dubai Islamic Bank, the Chairman and Management of the Retirement Benefits Authority, and the Insurance Regulatory Authority tool, the Chairman and Managing Trustees of the National Securities Exchange. Finally, Your Excellency, I want to say that we have one very important team, the Dubai Islamic Bank. They have promised to come big and support our initiative in Islamic funding, and we have aligned a very good pipeline for them, Your Excellency, to support your initiative. We are also extremely very happy with our PSS, who apparently, Your Excellency, are cut from the same cloth. Dr. Chris Kipto, Mr. Habubakar Hassan, and PS Hinga are actually stockbrokers and members of this big house. And no wonder it's happening. We have also tried to convert PS Patrick Marilu to our world. So thank you very much indeed, Your Excellency. We shall walk the talk and we shall stand to be counted. Asante sana. I thank you.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces, the Prime Cabinet Secretary and the Secretary for Foreign Affairs and Diaspora, all distinguished guests, the Capital Market Fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, it's a profound honor to welcome you again to this momentous occasion as we celebrate a significant milestone for Kenya's financial markets, the listing of the first Sukuk bond in East and Central Africa. The Linzi Sukuk bond of the Nairobi Securities Exchange. This is also a landmark for our pension funds. The Lab Trust Pension Scheme, the County Pension Fund, and the Sali Sub-Fund, which are Kenya's most venerable pension schemes. I wish to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the Sali Sharia Advisory Board, led by Sheikh Lathome, trustees, and all those who have worked diligently with us to achieve this historic moment. Your Excellency, it's only last year that we had the privilege of hosting you during the launch of the Kenya shillings 7 billion Lab Trust Imara High REIT, and today we are proud to present another milestone, the Linzi Sukuk bond, which we have achieved through partnership with Liaison Group. In total, we only at CPF Group have actually brought into this market around 10 billion market capitalization. Today, I am proud to present another milestone, the Linzi Sukuk bond, as the anchor investor for this groundbreaking Kenya shillings 3 billion Sukuk issuance. CPF Group is honored to contribute to the expansion of the ethical finance in Kenya. This Sukuk bond not only diversifies our investment portfolio, but also plays a crucial role in supporting affordable housing initiatives for the Kenya Defense Forces. Our commitment to solely ethical investment principles and sustainable value is unwavering, and we are excited about the future possibilities this product holds for this country. Your Excellency, as mentioned in the past, we are very intentional about contributing to the infrastructure and infrastructural development of this country, of our country. During the last event, we advised that Kenya pension funds with assets under management of over Kenya shilling 1.7 trillion as of December 2023 can contribute to infrastructure development of our country. And today's launch is a proof of concept that pension funds can indeed invest in public infrastructure. The issuance of this sukuk is targeted towards the development of affordable housing for our Kenya Defense Forces at a competitive internal rate of return to our investors. The investors are from our Sharia pension sub-fund, which we are calling SALI, who will receive a profit from the rental lease income over the next 15 years. Your Excellency, at CPF, we have a drive to develop innovative solutions to support the growth and development of our nation. Just recently, we embarked on the development of the county headquarters for Homa Bay, which is currently in progress, on a rent-to-own model as provided for under the Public Finance Management Act and the Homa Bay County Infrastructure Financing Fund Act that created a charge on the county revenue fund in line with Article 207, Article 2A of the Constitution of Kenya. We are securitizing this investment through a similar investment in another, through issuing another sukuk bond in the near future. To enable us scale this particular model, we intend to securitize this investment by securitizing the investment through refinancing and through the capital markets. And by issuing a sukuk bond, it will enable us roll over similar investments in other counties. In order to replicate the model scale across counties and the national government, we seek to work with your government, sir, and a Council of Governors to come up with securitization of public revenue bill, for consideration by Parliament in order to contract private sector capital for investment into public projects. This model, Your Excellency, can be replicated for other public infrastructure projects your government intends to undertake in future, as long as there's a clear undertaking to make the standing payments via a secured framework in form of irrevocable standing orders by our Central Bank of Kenya. We wish to further propose that the government puts in place a regulatory framework through an amendment to the Public Finance Management Act and the Central Bank Act in order to allow Central Bank to issue standing orders for public projects, so that there's an assurance of payment whenever the government contracts the private sector. We wish to further propose that the government puts in place, this will enable the Central Bank to function as a fiscal agent for public entities to pay contracted investors. Your Excellency, the second issue I wish to address of importance is that of pending bills. We are affected by pending bills, Your Excellency. For now, the combined pending bills for pension is actually over 80 billion. And this is hurting us seriously. The pension industry is committed to supporting your government to partly resolve this long outstanding challenge which continues to impede the development of our nation. To address this, sir, we wish to advance a model which we believe will resolve this matter. Our proposed solution is modeled around the reverse factoring concept, which is a financial solution that allows suppliers or contractors to receive early payment of their invoices from a financier who purchases the invoices at a discount and offers to wait for the payment from the government. The financial stands between both parties, providing an efficient mechanism for funds flow. The suppliers will benefit from improved working capital and reduced credit risk, while this will ease the government cash flow pressure and improve the business relationship with its suppliers and contractors. For this solution to succeed, sir, the following would be the critical path. There will be a need to generate an audited and cleared list of pending bills and receivables for both counties and the national government. 2, CPF and our partners in the pension sector will facilitate the establishment of a fund through a privately initiated private partnership that will purchase eligible invoices from suppliers to the government. The fund will constitute resources from pension schemes, insurance companies, life contracts and deposits. International investors also seeking above market returns will be the source of the funding for this special fund. This fund can be established under the Special Purpose Acquisition Vehicle, SPAC, regulations under the Capital Markets Authority. To make this attractive to investors in the fund, suppliers and contractors will be required to take a haircut, possibly up to 30%, as well as forfeiting the default interest they are entitled to under the contracts for delayed payments to be used as a payment for the financiers. The government should undertake to pay 100% of the payables to the financiers, including the default interest, over a longer payment period through a securitized installment plan. We will further request that the program be considered for tax exemption to be more attractive to investors. This securitized payment plan will ease the financial pressure on the government, allowing it to allocate scarce resources to other development projects. The government will be required to provide an irrevocable standing order issued by Central Bank of Kenya against the revenues, assuring investors the 100% payment of receivables will be made at the agreed time and within the agreed period. This will be achieved by creating a fast charge on both the county revenue funds and the consolidated fund to prioritize payments of the installments to the financiers or the factors. 6, the financiers will issue a debt settlement bond in tranches at the capital markets that will be used to purchase the audited receivables. The debt settlement bond will be listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange to provide liquidity to the financiers, factors, and increase the participation of other investors. Finally, all payments to suppliers will be made directly to their accounts through the central bank. Your Excellency, on behalf of the pension sector and other partners, we humbly request for a meeting to further discuss these two proposals in detail. Your Excellency, to enable our pension sector to invest in large-scale projects, the pension industry has established a pool investment vehicle. We actually named it the Park Hunters Club. We have come together, Your Excellency, and we had a meeting just the other day at the College of Insurance to agree on this. This is an aggregation vehicle that enables pension funds to co-invest in infrastructure through a fractional ownership approach, covering up to 35% of our total assets under management by pension funds, which translates to approximately Kenya 600 billion, allowed by our Retirement Benefits Authority Investment Guidelines, Table G. Following the joint decision that was made yesterday by the trustees and fund managers at the College of Insurance at the H Convention Center, I can confirm, as the convener of that PHC, Your Excellency, that we are open for business with your government for any bankable projects. In closing, we wish to thank you for the support you continue to accord the pension industry, and we assure you of our unwavering support and commitment for the development of our country. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
One more round of applause for Dr. Kili. Thank you very much. Your Excellency, this being an Islamic product, allow me to now invite some remarks from a senior Islamic scholar, and that's Mr. Sheikh Ibrahim Lethome, as we put our hands together for him. He will be followed by the NSE chair, Mr. Kiprono Kitonyi. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali. Karibu sana.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of God, most merciful, most beneficent. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Kenya Defense Forces. allow me to say, like the Tanzanians say in Kiswahili, tukizingatia itifaki, all protocols observed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum. Yeah, that requires an answer because it is a greeting of peace, and we need peace in this country. Your Excellency, it is with great honor and privilege that I stand before you today on behalf of a committee that is called the Sharia Advisory Committee of CPF Saleh to make these remarks. Today, we are marking this momentous occasion, the bell-ringing ceremony for the Linzi Sukuk bond, the first Sharia-compliant investment product, not only in this country, but in the region. As we all know, Sukuk is a Sharia-compliant financial instrument that offers a viable alternative to conventional debt financing. This innovative investment offers a powerful platform to mobilize resources, stimulate economic growth, and create shared prosperity. The introduction of the Linzi Sukuk into our market unlocks new avenues for investment, expands our financial toolkit, and paves the way for a more inclusive and resilient economy. Your Excellency, Islamic financial instruments offer an innovative blend of stability and potential growth. They provide investors with medium to long-term opportunities to earn consistent returns while mitigating risks associated with excessive speculation. Unlike conventional financial tools, these instruments are rooted in the principles of shared risk and reward, ensuring that funds are directed towards tangible, productive assets. This approach stimulates sustainable economic growth through a just and equitable system of fairness, transparency, and social responsibility. The Linzi Sukuk is more than a mere financial instrument. It is a beacon of novelty in our markets. This pioneering investment vehicle will make a substantial contribution to Kenya's economic landscape, inshallah. By directing investments towards the construction of over 3,000, I repeat again, over 3,000 affordable residential units for the Kenya Defense Forces, this Sukuk directly addresses a pressing national challenge, the housing deficit. This exemplifies the transformative potential of Islamic finance, demonstrating its capacity to tangibly enhance societal welfare and economic progress. Your Excellency, sir, this landmark event is a testament to the growing recognition and acceptance of Islamic finance in Kenya. It signifies a shift towards a more inclusive and diversified financial environment. We applaud the efforts of the regulators, the Capital Market Authority, the Retirement Benefits Authority, our issuers, and all the stakeholders involved in bringing to life the Linzi Sukuk bond. This alternative provides an opportunity for diversification opportunity for investors who wish to invest in socially responsive investments in Kenya. Ethical finance is not just a niche market, but a viable, sustainable, and profitable approach to economic development. Your Excellency, Sukuk is an alternative investment process. Sukuk as an investment alternative possesses the potential to revolutionize our financial landscape. This instrument empowers financial institutions to optimize their portfolios, manage risk effectively, and generate Sharia-compliant returns, and it is a testament to the compatibility of Islamic finance with contemporary economic realities. Let us therefore commit ourselves to nurturing this burgeoning industry by fostering innovation, collaboration, and a conducive regulatory environment. We can unlock the full potential of Islamic finance to serve the best interest of our nation and its people. And to highlight other notable projects financed through this Sukuk, that we are not the only people. Other countries have made it through Islamic bonds or Sharia-compliant bonds. We can make it, Your Excellency. As an example, in South Africa, the city of Johannesburg issued a Sukuk bond worth $500 billion to support urban infrastructure development, specifically targeting improvements in public transportation and waste management. If they made it, why not Kenya? In Dubai in 2009, the Dubai Metro Sukuk bond was issued to fund the expansion of Dubai Metro network, enhancing the city's public transport infrastructure. In Malaysia, the Kuala Lumpur International Airport Phase 2 issued a Sukuk in 2013. They issued it to finance the expansion of their airport, facilitating increased passenger capacity and modernized facilities. In Saudi Arabia, in 2016, Saudi Aramco issued a $10 billion Sukuk to support a range of infrastructure and energy projects throughout the country. If these countries have succeeded, why can't we succeed? I believe, inshallah, we can succeed. Your Excellency, finally, we can play an integral role in nation building. This is just the beginning, and we thank CPF and Liaison for this great step. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless this endeavor and grant it success. May He guide us all towards a future where finance is not merely a means to an end, but a tool for building a better world for generations to come. And before I conclude, Your Excellency, it has taken teamwork for us to be here. You heard that there is a team of experts from outside who advised us to ensure that we are Sharia compliant. Internally at CPF, Dr. Kili has put together a team, which I lead, of Sharia scholars. We are 3 of us. One of us is not here, is a lady. She's Dr. Manakitina Bakari. She's not feeling well. She's in Mombasa. And my other colleague is here, Dr. Sheikh Muhammad Shakul, if you could just stand up. We have the expert internally, and Dr. Kili has made the efforts of taking us to Malaysia so that we can also learn how they do it. We also have a young man, I think he's not a Gen Z, I think he's a millennial. Abdullahi Hussein, if you are here, if you could stand up. I think Dr. Kili has a lot of trust in this young man. He is the one that is heading the Sharia compliant window at Saleh, CPF Saleh. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Kenyans, all this cannot be achieved if we do not have peace. Your Excellency, we want peace in this country, and I want to take this opportunity as a religious leader in this country, that there is a formula for bringing change. Your Excellency, when we have a problem, the formula is we do not solve a problem by creating a bigger problem. We should solve problems by looking at solutions that will not create bigger problems. We can make it if there is peace. May God Almighty bless us with peace in this country. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the President and the Commander-in-Chief of our Armed Forces, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, leaders from government, led by our PSs, captains of industry, and may I recognize the CEOs of all listed companies if you could kindly be upstanding, all the listed companies, the CEOs. We have the CEOs of most of our listed companies, Safaricom, Centum, Stanbic, EABL, Coop Bank, Dr. Kimngatich, Jubilee, James Mwangi from Equity Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a distinguished honor to welcome you once again to the Nairobi Securities Exchange for the bell ringing of the listing of the Linzi Sukuk on the NSE Unquoted Securities Platform. Before I proceed, Mr. President, let me thank you for the measures you have taken to stabilize the country over the last 2 weeks. It has been said by Colin Powell, a famous American, that capital is a coward. And indeed, it is a coward. And the measures you've taken to stabilize the country over the last 2 weeks will certainly see the resurgence of the formation of capital through the NSE. And your presence here today is significant, and it is a clear testament of your continued commitment to support the growth of our domestic capital markets and to enable further contribute to economic development in our country. Mr. President, deeper and more efficient equity and debt markets provide an efficient way of mobilizing domestic resources and international capital, complementing traditional financing sources through fostering risk and long-term investments. As the NSE, we have made investments in broadening our offerings, developing a wide range of diverse products, working with many partners like the CPF and others, enabling issuers to raise capital and investors to build portfolios using globally acceptable financial securities and investment tools. Today, we are again demonstrating our capability and the depth of our market through the listing of the first Sharia compliant product, opening a new avenue for raising capital for government and for the private sector. This is therefore a very special day for us. On the recovery, Mr. President, as I had mentioned earlier, and as our Chief Executive mentioned, our market has posted extremely strong performance. And apart from being the best, as he has said, in the world, a few months ago in Kasane, in Botswana, we were also rated as the most innovative exchange in the continent of Africa by ASEA, where traditional equities have been floundering, like in South Africa, in Cairo, and in the major markets. We have spent many, many hours developing new products and coming to market with them and actually diversifying our offering and giving investors greater opportunities. Mr. President, during your first visit, you committed your government support to revitalize the market. This was driven by your strong belief on the critical role that domestic capital markets play in accelerating economic growth and development through availing long-term and competitive capital for businesses and for government. At the core of the support was the adoption of a structured, time-sensitive privatization program that will enhance Kenya's appeal and attractiveness to foreign and local investors. This approach aligns with your vision for the country, which aims to create more diverse and a sustainable economy, generate new job opportunities, and enhance overall productivity. Privatization of state-owned enterprises will attract foreign and local capital investment, bring in capital and expertise, improve governance, and contribute to Kenya's long-term economic stability and development. And for companies to be privatized, we believe this will lead to enhanced efficiency, innovation, and competitiveness, and these enterprises will benefit from better management practices and focus more on profitability and customer satisfaction. We are pleased, therefore, Mr. President, that there is a policy direction that will further facilitate the privatization of government companies, and we are glad that the further sell-downs that you have approved of the following companies: Stanbic Holdings, Liberty Kenya Holdings, Everready, Kenya East Africa, Portland Cement, NSE, and Housing Finance will go a long way in stimulating market activity. However, sir, I think in the holding room we mentioned to you what we would really like to see come to the market. The government still holds very many substantial enterprises, and we believe if you gave us the one we requested, you will see a major upturn in this market. This divestiture of the companies will provide an avenue also for the redistribution of wealth as envisioned by the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. The proposed privatization through an NSE will mark a decisive point in broadening Kenya's appeal to international investors and equally enhance the depth of our equity market and spillover effect on the overall financial sector of the country. Your Excellency, we are also working to build a serious domestic investor base. With partners like Safaricom, we are coming up with tools and ways to get people at the bottom of the economic pyramid to participate in market trading. To this end, we have launched SocoPlay, an automated platform that will enable Kenyans trade various securities using virtual capital and real-time data from the automated trading platform. We would like to take this even to the curriculum of schools to see that we can actually get as many Kenyans participating in investments from a very early age. We believe that the adoption of this model will set the foundation for the development of direct market access and will be, for Kenyans to be trained on how to trade and avoid challenges from the more vulnerable and also allowing them to appreciate the dynamics of market activity. As I conclude, Mr. President, I take this opportunity to extend our gratitude and appreciation to you for honoring the entire capital market ecosystem by attending this event and coming here 4 times, a record 4 times in the last 2.5 years. We look forward to serving the country through the provision of efficient capital markets as part of our contribution to national development. We'd like to reiterate our support to the government and its policy direction to accelerate economic growth in the country. In conclusion, Mr. President, let me just say that you have been accused of very many things, including traveling too much. But we have come from a roadshow in London, in New York, and in Addis Ababa. The sentiment and the confidence in the country and its macros is clear to tell by the reaction of the investors who are bringing their capital to Kenya. And your trips have helped in a big way to position Kenya internationally. And for that, we appreciate that. And I'll say, don't stop traveling, continue to position Kenya where it needs to be positioned. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. And at this point, allow me to now welcome the chairman, CMA, Mr. Yugas Mohammed, who will be followed by Dr. Chris Kipto, the Principal Secretary for Treasury, who will in turn invite the Prime Cabinet Secretary. Welcome, sir.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Your Excellency, the Prime Cabinet Secretary, our PSS, Chairman Kitoni, and the NSE CEO, all protocols observed. Your Excellency, the market has spoken, and when the market speaks, ours is the referee function, and therefore we just say congratulations to the market, because I think when they've spoken, what's been mentioned are things that we've been talking about for some time. And all they are saying, Your Excellency, is let's use the capital markets as an alternative for development. I think that is, in summary, everything that's been said. It's my great pleasure to be part of this great initiative today, to witness the bell ringing ceremony for the Linzi Sukuk on the USP. This is, as has been mentioned, the first time Islamic bond is being listed in the USP in the NSE. Let me thank all the stakeholders who've participated in this process to bring this to fruition, and for being here with us despite their busy schedules. Let me reiterate, Your Excellency, to thank you again. I think it's been mentioned you've been here. This is the 4th time, and that shows your confidence in this economic segment, which is the capital markets, and we're very much appreciative. Your Excellency, for your information, we've witnessed remarkable progress in this sector. Since the establishment of Islamic banks and I say this being Islamic finance product, we've seen significant progress, including the establishment of Islamic banks, Islamic windows for conventional banks, takafuls and re-takaful windows, Sharia-compliant funds. These achievements have been facilitated through collaborative efforts of all financial sector regulators, guided by the National Treasury and economic planning, backed up with technical and financial support from Financial Sector Deepening Africa, FSD Africa. As regards to the Linzi Sukuk listing, Your Excellency, we view this as a major achievement that has opened the channel for subsequent issuance on the main exchange in the future. This Linzi Sukuk issuance brings the total number of admitted securities on the USP to 5, with the others being the Lab Trust Imara, and we thank CPF for that, the Ilham Fahari IRIT, the Acon DRIT, and the Acon IRIT. Those are the ones that are on the USP platform. Your Excellency, even as we strive to improve activity in the capital markets, in the Islamic capital markets field, we acknowledge that there have been some challenges hindering optimal uptake. These include the low level of awareness and understanding of Islamic finance among the general population, even within the financial sector itself, policy misalignments with the Islamic principles. While we have stepped up effort to enhance literacy in this sector, we'll be making special requests to your office, Your Excellency, to support and fast-track, 1, the development of a national Islamic finance policy. 2, enactment of the necessary legal frameworks to introduce a centralized Sharia advisory council for purposes of confidence building in the products. Number 3, the issuance of a sovereign sukuk and introduction of a Sharia-compliant liquidity management tools for Islamic banks and takaful business to enhance market. I'm almost done, Your Excellency. Similarly, Your Excellency, the country's capital markets are increasingly becoming a key player in the country's commodity markets ecosystem, especially the agriculture sector, to enhance financial inclusion, market access, digitalized and transparent commodity value chains, price discovery at the Commodities Exchange. To this end, we are happy to inform you that we are live to one of the key deliverables of your government, Better. The authority is working with other stakeholders to strengthen the Nairobi Coffee Exchange by ensuring that the necessary legal and regulatory frameworks are in place, the direct settlement system, the capacity building among players. Additionally, to boost production of products, especially agricultural, the authority has given clearance to the Commodities Market Exchange, the CMX Limited, to commence a pilot testing of derivatives exchange, mainly aiming at trading a futures contract. In conclusion, in supporting innovations in the capital markets, also we are operationalizing more and more. In fact, we might be the only one in the whole region in terms of a regulatory sandbox, which a few products are in the pipeline, and over the years, we've seen very successful ventures that have come out of the regulatory sandbox, Your Excellency, which is a product within the capital markets. And with these few remarks, I want to thank you most sincerely and again echo our continued support towards more product and services in the capital markets to deliver on the promised economic transformation of our great country. We want to thank you, and we want you to keep up the great work you are doing, Your Excellency. Thank you so much.
Your Excellency, I am aware that you have pressure for time, so I will not speak, I'll not make any remarks. I will take this opportunity to welcome the Prime Cabinet Secretary to make his remarks on behalf of the National Treasury, given that he's our acting CS. As he comes on, I want to make a disclaimer that none of us are stockbrokers. The PS Abubakar worked with me. I met him at CMA when I was seconded by the governor, Professor Njuguna Ndung'u, when he was governor. I worked with him on the the NSE valuation and the demutualization of the exchange. I know PS Housing is an investment banker, not a stockbroker. With that, please come. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris Kipto. Your Excellency, the President, leaders of business who are here, good morning. I will be very brief, and I think it seems it's a moment of disclaimers. Tom Murla talked of a game where he opted not to disclose, and he gave the impression that it is a very secretive game. Your Excellency, I want to assure you that the game he was talking about is legal. It is golf. Lest the impression is taken out there that we were involved in some devious activity. But Your Excellency, as I invite you to the podium, let me just point out one or two things. One, in every crisis, there's always a silver lining. And we've had a moment of challenge. Kenya has risen out of challenges before, and every time it emerges stronger. So the President is steering us out of a certain challenge. But one thing that comes out truly for Kenyans is that we are systematically building a resilient economy and a resilient nation. Our democracy is tested. Our institutions are being tested. Even the stock market here was being tested. And the fact that you are here to launch another product just shows that this level of resilience is being made stronger and stronger by the day out of good leadership and also commitment and confidence in Kenya. So I really want to thank the entities that are still the beacons within our stock market, the companies that stood here. You are doing a good job, because confidence will only be maintained when people see that institutions in those countries are also believers in their stock market. So we thank you greatly. And we believe that the more we have joining in the capital markets, the better for us. Finally, Mr. President, you know, privatization can be both sweet and bitter. It's a terminology that is giving people a lot of problems. Even now, there's debate out there on how we can raise capital to support our infrastructure. And there's always suspicion. But one thing is clear. If we can grow our capital markets, somehow, even the doubting Thomases have very little to say when they know that we are trying to raise the resources through the capital markets. There's more confidence there, there's more assurance there. So it behoves on us to really build our capacity here and expand our horizons, introduce new products like this one, so that we can accelerate our development. So that is all I can say at this point in time. And at the right time, we shall recruit some of you members into that game, now that you know it is not illegal. So ladies and gentlemen, can we all be upstanding so that we can usher in His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya to make his remarks and get the bell rolling. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, PCS. Tafadhali, let's take our seats. Our Prime Cabinet Secretary, the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, Principal Secretary is present, the Chair of the Nairobi Securities Exchange and CEO, board members of the Capital Markets Authority, board members of Liaison Group, board members of CPF Financial Services, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Hamjambo. I know it's cold. I was also feeling it. But it's a great pleasure that I join you today for the groundbreaking listing of this Linzi Sukuk on the Unquoted Securities Platform of the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Indeed, a very momentous occasion as we introduce the first Sharia-compliant financial product to the Kenyan exchange. I take this opportunity to congratulate Linzi FinCo Trust, the issuer of the bond, for the successful structuring of this remarkable 3 billion shilling Islamic security with a 15-year maturity, marking a pioneering public-private partnership facilitated through our capital markets entirely with locally sourced resources. My recurrent visits to the Nairobi Securities Exchange have each coincided with a significant development crucial for our nation's economic advancement. From the launch of the enhanced NSE marketplace in October 2022, when I came here immediately after the elections, and now the Linzi Sukuk bond, these are not mere coincidences, but reflect a steadfast commitment to fostering a dynamic and inclusive capital markets. The NSE stands as a cornerstone in our strategy to mobilize long-term capital that is vital for fueling the programs and projects that are core to our bottom-up economic transformation agenda. In 2022, the government pledged to provide land and horizontal infrastructure for development of affordable housing, substantially lowering construction costs and making it possible and feasible to offer homes at between 30 and 40% less the market rates. I challenged the private sector to support national housing and infrastructure projects then. I am delighted by your response and commend your effort in crafting this landmark asset-based security, which has the potential to enhance efficiency in the delivery of our priority projects through optimal financing costs. I am also encouraged that the funds raised from this bond will facilitate the construction of 3,069 affordable housing units, thereby generating thousands of jobs across the country, expanding commerce in many aspects of trade, aspects of supply, traders, and many other aspects that will bring this together. The structure of Linzi Sukuk, aimed at providing housing at an average of 1.4 million shillings, significantly less than the current average, enables Kenyans to own homes by paying as little as 7,000 for 15 years. This initiative not only makes home ownership more accessible, but also represents a scalable model for investment in our affordable housing program, attracting long-term investors, including local pension funds. I'm very happy to listen to Tom Mulwa and what they are doing with Dr. Kili on this space. And I'm very happy that today we are launching a product that brings Islamic financing put together by the Nairobi Stock Exchange to facilitate public housing. That is the essence of public partnership, public-private partnership. We're using private funds. We're using private funds to deliver public housing. It is the model that will leverage more resources beyond what government can do, that private money can facilitate home ownership. Private money can facilitate public housing. In this particular aspect, our security forces will benefit from the housing that is going to be constructed using the resources that we are raising using this Sukuk bond. And it is my commitment to the people of Kenya that housing is going to be a major product. Many people have asked me, why are you using public land to deliver housing? I mean, what else was public land supposed to be used for? Because in many cases, if we don't use public land to deliver public housing, it ends up in the hands of a few other people by other means. So I am committed to making sure that we create more homeowners in Kenya. As I have said before, we have a mortgage industry of about 40,000. We can expand that to between 1.5 and 2 million mortgages by making sure that we have housing products that are affordable to the majority of Kenyans. You can only do that if you have innovative mechanisms that allows us to deliver housing and housing products at affordable prices. And I'm very happy that the private sector is coming on board to work with us in this space. As a financial instrument compliant with Islamic law, the Sukuk highlights the importance of Islamic finance in promoting financial inclusion and broadening market access. This aligns with the global move towards more stable and robust economic growth, unlocking Islamic financial assets currently valued at approximately $5 billion. The high demand for Islamic financial products, both domestically and internationally, is evident from the successful issuance of sovereign sukuks in countries like Nigeria, Egypt, and Malaysia. This opens avenues for diversifying our financial resources beyond traditional bonds and loans and enhancing our financial resilience against interest rate volatility. If we were to deliver the same product using a loan, it would cost us interest of 22%. We're getting it at half that amount. So if there is anything in the realm of innovation, this is what it is. That resources that would otherwise be available to us at 22% interest, using this Sukuk product, we get it at 11% interest, and for 15 years. That's really good. I mean, it cannot get better than that. And I am very confident that, in fact, if we were to look for such funding, we would get it at 22% for 5 years. If it was 15 years, that would be a different number. I'm not quite an investment banker like my good peers, but I know that it would be a lot different. So we are walking in the right direction, and I want to commend CPF, Liaison, and Patrick Mariro from my Ministry of Defense for working on this. With today's listing, the Linzi Sukuk joins a portfolio of innovative financial instruments on the NSE USP, including the Ilam Fahari Income Real Estate Investment Trust and Akon Real Estate Investment Trust. However, the absence of a centralized Sharia governance board remains a significant barrier to the broader adoption of Islamic finance. To address this, I ask our financial regulators to collaborate with the National Treasury and Islamic finance stakeholders to develop a robust regulatory framework that will support the growth of Islamic finance in Kenya, which has tremendous potential to unlock our investment resources and boost our economy. The people in Treasury, with the central bank and all the other stakeholders, including scholars like Lethome and others, should come together and fashion a framework that will provide accountability and stability, and a framework that will support this endeavor. Our manifesto highlighted the adverse effects of government borrowing on productive sectors, notably agriculture, leading to increased food imports and heightened vulnerability to global supply shocks. As we are all aware, we're spending close to $500 million, actually 500 million Kenya shillings every year to import food items that we can actually produce. And that is why I took the decisive decision that we are going to support production rather than us trying to subsidize consumption. And the difference has been made. We have significantly reduced imports of food. It is my intention that by supporting that productive sector, we can reduce imports, especially of products, food items that we can either grow locally or we can produce and manufacture locally. It will remove the strain on our dollar resources or foreign exchange resources, and it will also help us unlock the potential of our local productivity, local production, local manufacture. We have seen the mobilization of savings through various capital market instruments, including the initial public offer, treasury bonds, corporate bonds, and commercial paper issuance, and introduced innovative products like infrastructure bonds, green bonds, collective investment schemes, real estate investment trusts, commonly known as REITs, asset-backed securities, exchange trade funds, diaspora bonds, and derivatives. Moving forward, we will continue to enhance these efforts, working closely with the NSE to drive our national transformation agenda. Our commitment extends to the privatization of government-owned enterprises as part of our broader economic liberalization program. This will not only stimulate market activity, but also support the government's strategy to divest its stakes in key corporations, enhancing overall market dynamics. As has been said here, and as I made a commitment when I first came to this exchange, the first 6 companies will be listed here in the next 3 months, I am told. So before the close of this year, we will have the first 6 companies where we have stake as government listed here for divestiture, so that the public can own what government owns now. And I have heard with clarity how Kengen became successful, how Safaricom became successful by being listed at this exchange. We will be preparing those other companies that you want, and I know which ones that you want, so that we can bring them to this exchange and we can give Kenyans a chance to own part of the wealth of our nation. I'm also looking forward, as I have interacted this morning with different stakeholders, working with National Treasury, the Central Bank, and good companies like Safaricom, for us to develop retail trading of both shares in the stock exchange and also bonds. And I am looking forward, and I have been assured that maybe in the next 3 months, I will hold somebody to account on that. In the next 3 months, that we are going to see more Kenyans participating in bond trading, in shares trading, in forex trading, and this should be possible online. And the CEO of Safaricom has given me his assurance that he will use his robust network to make sure that Kenyans have access to a platform where they can do business. We can enhance our e-commerce footprint around Kenya, so that as we deliver the last mile connectivity to internet, using our digital superhighway infrastructure that we are now expanding to every ward in Kenya, so that we can not only give a chance to young people across Kenya to have access to digital jobs, but also to have access to digital commerce. And among the aspects of digital commerce that I am looking forward to is trading on government bonds, trading on shares at the exchange, and also forex trading, so that the many people who we have made internet and Wi-Fi, the many who have accessed it, either on our Wi-Fi hotspots across Kenya, or even as we deliver the last mile connectivity with the program we have between the Kenya Power and our Ministry of ICT, as we deliver internet, as we deliver Wi-Fi, as we make it much more accessible, then it can be made useful through access to digital jobs, which we are working around the clock to make sure that's available, and also we can do more e-commerce, more e-trading, more space to trade on government bonds, on government securities, on shares at the stock exchange or at the securities exchange, and many other of those aspects. I think it would be a very good experience, different from what's going on now. I think that platform is being used more, kusalimiana. I mean, sometimes, you know, you become the architect of your own troubles. You know, when we delivered the Wi-Fi across Kenya and made it free, we intended it to be used for good purposes, for people to access e-commerce space, to work on that internet. But sometimes it is used to send us encouraging messages. To fulfill our manifesto pledges, we have initiated key economic reforms, including governance improvements under the ownership policy for government-owned enterprises approved by Cabinet in November last year. This policy is set to enhance corporate governance and accountability, aligning the standards of state corporations closely with those of listed companies. I'm very proud with the development that is going on, for example, at the Kenya Power, where today, those in the private sector, today have their own directors, and we are seeing improvements in the governance of state-owned enterprises that are listed at the exchange, a very positive move that is adding value to us. I'm very happy that in a long time, Kenya Power is actually going to have a significant profit this year. That's really commendable. And I want to thank the management of Kenya Power for what they are doing. And that speaks to all the other government entities that we will be listing at the exchange. I want to give you my commitment that we will be frugal, and we will, with a lot of clarity, deal with the challenges of accountability, making sure that public resources are spent for the intention for which they have been planned for, and that those who come in the way of government resources, misappropriation, or loss shall be held to account. In fact, I did propose in my statement a few days ago that we are looking at changing the law so that it is possible to ensure that within 6 months, those charged with corruption must be brought to book and sent to jail if they are found guilty, as a means of making sure that public resources are used for the Kenyan public and not for private profit. as we look forward to further integrating public agencies into the securities market through privatization and welcoming more private sector listing, we remain dedicated to our goals of job creation and economic development, crucial for realizing sustainable development goals and improving overall quality of life. I'm also glad to note that a flexible regulatory framework is now in place to support small and medium enterprise raise funds through the capital markets, and that the NSE, through the Unquoted Securities Platform, now has an SME capital raising platform. And I really want to encourage SMEs to take advantage of this platform and find resources, alternative sources of capital for them to expand their horizon. Investor confidence has been sustained by the fact that the financial markets have remained resilient with stable macroeconomic indicators. To maintain this trend, the government of Kenya is committed to entrenching a predictable business and economic environment through appropriate policy framework. I also appreciate the positioning of the securities market with the recognition of NSE as the best performing exchange in Africa at 44.43% dollar return in the first quarter this year. I remember when I made that statement somewhere, many people wanted to verify whether it was true. Because sometimes we have little faith in ourselves. And I want to encourage us that if we expect people to believe in our country, we must first believe in ourselves. We cannot expect people to believe in us if we have no faith in ourselves. And the confidence that we are going to generate in the Securities Exchange, those coming from outside Kenya will invest when they see us at the front, investing in our own companies. I'm very happy with what the CEO of the exchange said, that we have more foreign investors investing in our products. That is a sign of confidence, yes. But that's also an encouragement to us that if others believe in us, we should believe in ourselves more. I think that's really the message we should be carrying. I know I have been accused, as the chair here said, of traveling, and that's a fair accusation. The only unfairness in it is that many people believe I've been traveling as a tourist. But the profile we enjoy today in Kenya is as a result of deliberate, intentional, positive profiling of our country. Because in any case, I am the chief marketer of our great country. And I will not be doing justice to Kenya if I don't give it the stature and profile that Kenya actually deserves. I am very proud that today our country is held in very high esteem in many parts of both our continent and globally because of the efforts we have done collectively as the people of Kenya. And we must safeguard the place of our country jealously, all of us together. And I agree with Lethome that whatever it is that we want to do as a country, we are a country that believes in freedom, we are a robust democracy, but we are also a country governed under the rule of law. It is good to be fearless. It is good to be leaderless, but it is not good to be reckless and violent. We just have to be the country that we are all proud of, a proud democratic country governed by the rule of law. It is the minimum we can do for ourselves as a country. And I want to assure investors, both here And I want to assure Kenyans that as a mandate, I will make sure, I will go out of my way to make sure that we are a stable country, to leverage on all our capabilities to secure the country, and to provide an environment where each and every one of us can unlock our potential to make our country great. And we will make whatever sacrifices that are necessary for us to bring all our energies, all our efforts and ideas and synergy so that we can drive the collective good of the people of Kenya. Establishing a broad-based government is just that, so that nobody has an excuse, nobody has a reason to impede the progress of our nation, and we can harness all our capabilities, all our ideas, efforts, and energy in driving the country in a positive trajectory so that we can take Kenya where we all want it to be. And I am very happy that as a country, we always emerge stronger and better, even as we face the challenges of nationhood. And together, I am very confident that we will move forward. I now declare the Linzi Sukuk officially listed on the Unquoted Securities Platform, USP, of NSE, and I'm informed that you are encouraged to attend the next Africa Security Exchange Platform and conference. I am told by a friend of mine called Nafula, I think, who works around here, that I encourage each and every one of you to register and to participate so that we can bring experience together and learn from each other. Thank you very much. God bless you. And asanteni sana.
Ringing, but also allow me to welcome the following to just flank as he is ringing the bell. The Prime Cabinet Secretary, the PS Treasury, Yugas Mohammed, Chairman of CMA, Kiprono Kitonyi, Tom Mulwa, Jose Akili, Sheikh Ibrahim Lithome, Samantha Ngera, Abdallah Abdul Khalik, and Wycliffe Shamia. I'll request that the rest of us be seated, please. Let's take our seats. And the CEO will guide His Excellency on the bell ringing. At this point, let me also mention that you have a bell under your seat, which is courtesy of, or rather that it just frames what we've done. So, Your Excellency, once that has been explained, so at the count of 10, Your Excellency, you will ring the bell, and I'll request that we all count down from 10 together to help His Excellency. When we get to 0, then we shall ring the bell. So let's have the countdown, please. We'll start from 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And with that, Your Excellency, the Linzi Sukuk begins trading, and we'll welcome you, Your Excellency, to just come and witness that it has actually begun trading. I'll request that the rest of us remain on stage for the first photo we're going to take, but the CEO and the Prime Cabinet Secretary can join His Excellency. All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We have two gifts that are to be presented, one by Kiprono Kitonyi, the NSE gift, together with the Linzi gift. If we can do that quickly as we take a photo. If we can also have the Linzi gift. The second gift. If we do not have it close by, we are pressed for time. So we shall then and that is the red jacket. So, Your Excellency, just one photo opportunity with the team that's on the stage. Then we finish with the national anthem as we come to the conclusion of this Sukuk, Linzi Sukuk bell ringing ceremony. All right, may I request that we all exit stage and leave His Excellency, and the rest of us kindly let's be upstanding for the national anthem as we come to the end of this ceremony. So let's be all upstanding for the national anthem. I request that we maintain our positions as we allow His Excellency to exit.